the character, the way that he goes about being who he is, and diffusing situations. All those things have helped me become who I am today.
You guys are.
Oh yeah.
You want to just start with your name and occupation?
Gotcha.
Do not delete that.
Ice.
I'm putting that in.
It's all good. Name, occupation. No worries. My name is Antonio Smothers, and I am a online fitness coach and person trainer as well. Also a property real estate manager too.
You already know me.
Do we know?
How do you know Joe?
How do I know Joe? I met Joe, oh man, I feel like I was a young pup back then. I was hired on to be a fitness professional, that we called it back then, fitness professional training at Lifetime Fitness. And that's how we met. We met originally at Lifetime Fitness. Yeah.
So about how long has it been?
5 years? No. Yeah, 5 years. 2018.
Yeah, 18, 19, 20, 22.
Because I came back in 2019.
A little bit over 5. Yeah, I would say 5 and some change.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he was there, then left, came. Yeah. So I'd say a little bit over 5.
Yeah, a little bit over 5 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
Jeez.
How has Joe impacted your life?
How has Joe impacted my life? The first way was he taught me how to observe. because normally I like to talk a lot and just be somebody in the room that can bring something to the room. But then also you got to learn how to be. I would say you got to be able to have tact, right? Like you can't be like that all the time. And it's okay to sit back, relax, observe the room, and figure out, where you need to make your mark or make a move, or just listen more than actually talk, So that was kind of one of the first things that I learned from Joe when I first got there.
Nice. How has that helped you out in your life?
Oh man, tremendously now, because again, you can learn a lot by saying nothing. So I think just by taking that first initial lesson, I don't even know if he actually ever noticed he did that for me, but just after watching the way he moves, I really, and I used to tell him this all the time. I used to work with him, like, man, I just watch how he moves, and I used to really try to mimic the way that he would move a lot of the times, and then I'd sprinkle in my little personality in there, but a lot of times I would definitely just watch, see how he did what he did, and it impacted my life in many ways as far as just how to handle situations on a day-to-day basis.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
He's cool.
Yeah, I remember I took a liking to him just because of his personality. I mean, he does bodybuilding. We'd have some open dialogue and open conversation just because in the bodybuilding world, there seems to be very, very, it's very segregated, right? You got like natural, non-natural, and to me, I don't give a fuck if you're natural, non-natural. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're doing bodybuilding, to some extent, you're going to be using something that's going to be no longer natural. You so much as take a multivitamin. I mean, technically, you're no longer natural because you're putting in a substance that was created by a manufacturer. Last I checked, you don't take a multivitamin out that ground right there and put it in your mouth. So,
that's really real.
Natural, non-natural, who cares? But
That's a good point.
so that's the first thing we bonded on. But then another thing we bonded on, his circumstance with your father and but so I really got to open up to him because I don't open up to just anybody, and I opened up to him a little bit quicker than most people just because I seen that he was going through some shit, just like we all go through some shit. And sometimes I feel like you gotta be vulnerable in order for the other person to understand, like, oh, this motherfucker really cares, instead of just putting my hand on his shoulder and be like, hey, just have a good day, just suck it up. To me, that's fake.
Yeah, I agree.
It's extremely fake. So I was always trying to be vulnerable with him, to show him like, hey, I'm real too. Like, this isn't shit that I'm just telling you and I'm not applying. So that was another way that I connected with Antonio. I just wanted to help him.
Yeah.
Just like I want to help a bunch of other people.
Right.
Because of my circumstances.
It's the truth, though.
Did he help you prepare for shows, or you guys just train together? Or?
No. I mean, it was always, but it was always good to have. He would always tell me things. I mean, even just on like just on the level of like, hey, like, he would ask questions, just how, and I think if I was able to even interpret what the hell I was doing, that's wrong. So we would ask questions back and forth. You know, again, I'd watch and see how he trained clients, and then he would ask me how my prep was going, if I was in prep. You know, all like you said, always just caring. You know, and just giving me any pointers where he saw fit. Always.
Yeah, he actually helped me with some posing before. I would ask him, and then he helped a couple of my female clients with some posing. Kelly and a couple of others.
They won.
Yeah,
doing the whole thing.
Yeah, so I had quite a bit of people there, and even since then, right? Because he was starting as a trainer, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you were taking it as serious, like as a business, like as you are now.
I agree, 100%.
Right? So sometimes people go into it, and I just try to show him like you can actually make, a lot of money doing this. Because at the end of the day, we want to help. Like I hear trainers all the time. I just want to help. Okay, but you don't want to help for free, do you? Right, last I checked, you want to make a living.
Amen.
So it's the same thing I was telling him, but except with Lifetime, it's very, very corporate. It's very salesy, which is nothing wrong with that. It's a business, but they don't really care about the actual person. I haven't been in a company that actually cared about the client and the trainer. What they cared about was the numbers, how you're doing, and they wrap it around in a way where they make it seem like they're helping you, but really they want to make sure that they're helping you in a way to help themselves by selling more. And I try to present it to him in a way where if you just give a fantastic service, and if you're knowledgeable enough, you can actually ask them for their money as opposed to demanding for their money without actually teaching them anything.
True. So true.
And now, I don't know, you can talk about, the things you're doing now. He's been a little modest in my opinion, but that's just...
Gotta keep it modest.
That's just me.
No, I mean, it's just, again, what we were talking about before, and I mean, I have something that I always tell the story. I actually told the other day in front of him, but I know when it really hit as far as learning how to take what you hear and actually apply it is when he gave me the confidence to go from being someone that was nervous and I was really really shy, kind of asking people for money and for the programming and packages and stuff. So then what I ended up doing was I ended up telling him about it. And when I told him about it, he goes, man, those degrees and papers don't mean anything. Either I could wipe my ass with those degrees and papers. Do you have the experience and the knowledge to help someone reach their goal? Pretty much, right? Yeah. And, I actually had to sit with that for a minute. And then I really started looking at my contemporaries a little different. I was like, man, you're right. And because I started forgetting who I was and what I had gone through to even get to that point. And he just pretty much reminded me, man, hey, that's that. It's a tangible paper, but we could go so much deeper than just that. So it actually helped me from then on understand that I can achieve what I want to achieve without having, this BA from such and such, and I can still make a living doing this and actually go way beyond as long as I can continue to keep evolving, continue to keep wanting to get better and better every day. And I use that to my advantage as often as possible. That's cool.
Yeah, I feel like if the more knowledgeable you are in the craft that you're in, and even if you have a specialty, then you're more knowledgeable in that craft, so then you'll attract more people like that. Nothing wrong with that. I didn't ever want to specialize in anything. I wanted to have like a broad spectrum of people. Like I got a phone call today from somebody that I used to work with at Lifetime. I'm with an appointment, and he's like, hey Joseph, are you still at Lifetime? And I said, no, I'm currently at Urban Sprawl. And then next month I'll be at another facility. And he was like, well, would you mind working with my son? And I said, no, absolutely not. How old is he? He said 10. I said, ooh, 10, okay. I've never taken on a 10-year-old, but I can probably figure out. He goes, well, he has special needs. I didn't even hesitate because I worked with somebody that had autism and I have all this experience. So before I say yes to something, I want to have the confidence so that I can say, yes, I'll help you.
Agreed.
And I'm with my client, and he is actually a special needs teacher. He was a special needs teacher for like 20 years. Wow. And he was like, hey, if you needed help with that, you should have asked, like, what special needs he has. I said, well, I'm in the middle of an appointment. My watch went off. This person doesn't really call me, and I want to give you the attention that you need. Yeah. And he said, well, that's okay. You're giving me the attention. I'd like to help. So it goes towards having the confidence, because you mentioned confidence.
All day.
Like I don't not have the confidence to work with anybody. Yeah. And if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm probably going to look it up. Probably not on YouTube, but I have like professors and people that I trust that taught me a lot of the stuff that I know. Yeah. And they've always said, hey, if you need any more additional help, feel free to reach out. So and Rodney Corn has told me that, So I got a lot of people on my phone that I can contact for assistance and help. And just like with him, I felt like I should be doing the same thing, because they're doing it at a level that, they help right NASM. I mean, I talk to the people that helped write NASM, so if he's giving me that, why shouldn't I give it to other people that I meet? No matter how big you get, I think sometimes people get too big in their head.
And that's
like,
I didn't want to harp on what you said, because that part is what I love the most about my relationship with you, and that's how much I try to, I can only meet you at a certain level because I feel the depth of what you were trying to do for me at that time, I wasn't there yet. Right?
Yeah.
Like I accepted some of it, but I could have accepted way more, trust me. But what I mean is, now that I'm doing that for others, and I kind of feel, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what Joe is feeling like. Because he was trying to reach out and say, hey, there's all these other things that you can also do to help yourself. I could give you a couple little tools, but at some point you have to take hold of what I'm giving you, that idea, and you got to make the most out of it. And I can see it now from the other side, trying to help people and try to just, make sure everyone gets something that they can actually benefit from.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that's really why I'm doing this. I'm just trying to reach more people. So me and him partied. I did a shroom session, and we went back to my house and talked for about 2.5 hours. Before that, we passed by my mom's house, and I told him that this is where my mom died while I was on the phone with her in prison.
Wow.
And that's the first time he heard that, and that's the first time that Ranesh heard it. Like, we went from like raving to like, oh shit,
wow,
shit got fucking serious here.
Super serious.
So then I had the idea, I'm like, how many other people do you think would benefit if I actually start talking about my story and how I do things? Not from like a boasting standpoint, but how about, I start interviewing people that I've actually helped to some extent, and they can tell them. And then we went to go film at like juvenile hall, the county jail. Wow. We went to California Youth Authority, so I'm doing like on-site filming.
Is that one in Elk Grove?
Yeah.
Now that I know where that is.
Yeah.
The one in Elk Grove, yeah.
So I'm trying to be as vulnerable and as real as possible. So that's really why I'm doing this. I want to reach more people because I want to help. And for many years, I didn't help. I took. I took people's lives, freedom. There's a number of things that I took, and I got to sit with that. Yeah. So I think that's where my drive and my passion for wanting to help comes in. It's why it's so genuine.
Hell yeah.
And I'm not doing it for nothing. I'm just doing it to help. So yeah, to your point, sometimes we're not ready for the information.
Yeah.
Sometimes somebody can come up to you and say, hey, I can really help you.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, I can help you. I can't do the work for you, but I can give you words of encouragement and wisdom, and I know that it's going to help you. But sometimes people just sit on it.
Yeah.
I say they just sit on their hands, and then they wait and wait and wait.
You did that to me. Those like exact words. I swear I heard like those exact words. Like, I can give you the tools, but it's the truth. And like I said, at this pivotal age right now, like turning 35 this year, man, so many things have kind of opened themselves up to me and been revealed to me, for better or for worse. But either way, there's been a lot that I've noticed and seen that, again, I appreciate that much more people that were there before that tried to get me on the same path prior to it. So,
you mean like people in your life?
Yeah, 100%. People in any capacity, because somebody can change your life in 10 minutes, as opposed to someone that's been there for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's as crazy as that may seem, but I feel like the conversations we've had in the time we've had it, put together 2018, 2019, it's like I learned a lot just from that, So
yeah. Well, I appreciate that, because every time I run into him and he's with somebody that I know that he works with, I don't ask for this, but he's always giving me a little bit of kudos, like, hey, this, he's want to help me out. I know a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, you can only tell somebody so much, and then it's up to them to actually apply it. Yep. So no matter even if I gave him like nuggets of wisdom, it was entirely up to him to take it. Yep. I could have told him the same thing for like 5 years, and he could have just run off in some other direction. Which, there's been some times where, you went off the deep end in terms of like dealing with shit in life, and he still kept on trucking. Mm-hmm. So I got to ask you something.
Oh shit.
You went through your own stuff. What made you want to keep pushing forward, right, with fitness? There's been some times where you were like, I don't know if this is for me. You got to admit, there were some lows in there.
Oh yeah, I mean, man, I think even what kept me going with it, I think was just like who I am as a person. I think who I am as a person in the day was someone that I've been in the realm of actually just servicing people since I was born. My father, paralyzed from the waist down. From the moment I was able to like do things with my hands and help in any capacity, I've always been servicing people, getting taken to these mobility expos and these different hospitals that are for people that are either paraplegic or had different kind of physical ailments and stuff. I've been around this stuff for so long, it's just part of who I am at this point. And so me denying that, like, part of me, I would not be one with myself when I try to go away from it. I noticed that when I'm not in the capacity of helping someone, I don't feel right. I don't feel complete. So I noticed that what kept me going is actually realizing that getting a thank you, I appreciate this, I would kind of, in a weird way, I would use that as a way to keep going, right? And then you add the money aspect to it. But even before that, it's like when someone would change my life without having any kind of dollar amount put behind it, can I do that for someone else? And then repeat that and repeat that and repeat that and repeat that. And then in the realm of the fitness part of just doing coaching and all this stuff, I just realized that there's no way in hell I could continue to be better if I stay stuck with this type of information when the world changes. It's a blink of an eye. So I had to continue, like, with you, like, you others, there's just so many people that I could look at and go, they know a lot of shit. In that moment, I feel like I knew only this much. And I'm like, how am I gonna contest with people like him? How am I gonna even say that I can stand next to him, to me, right? And be on a similar level if I don't even know, if I'm not trying to strive to know more. Yeah. So I was always looking at it. I'm super competitive, right? But to a fault, I'm hella competitive. I noticed. I'm hella competitive. but in a good way in this case, only because, man, I look up to you so much that I want to be able to have someone say I can stand I can stand next to you, and they could refer to me on the same type of level that you are. So that was always a thing for me. Like, I would see you in the you had the Lexus at the time. Oh yeah. And I was like, damn, I want to be like that. It was just it always meant something to me. And I like the way that people approach you. At Lifetime, they approach you. At the way that they would just, I don't know, man. I could just harp on so many ways of people showing so much gratitude for you, and things like that push me along because I wanted that too. I want to be able to be a service to people and get that. That was a driving force, and I was actually at lows. I'm like, this is something that I'm good at it, naturally good at it. Let's put it all together. Yeah, I remember one time running into him at Goals, and I had the Hellcat at the time. Oh yeah. And I get out of the Hellcat, and he's like, "Yep, mother." Yeah. Yes, I was. Yes. And when we just started, he said, "I'm kind of going through some things right now," and I'm like, "Well, if you ever need anything, just let me know." Never stop saying that. You've always said that. Every time I see him at Gold, hey, if you ever need anything, let me know. And months could go by. I think sometimes years will go by, and we run into each other, and how you doing? I'll always ask how's business is doing, how are you doing personally, how's the family? Always. But there's been some lows that I've seen from him, and then now it's just these highs. And when you ran into me at Gold the other day, you're like, man, people are really starting to reveal themselves. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to be people. Right. And a lot of people ask me, how can I help so much if I've been through so much? Like, people have fucked me over plenty of times, probably more than I care to share. Sure. But I just have an understanding that it's just human nature to fuck one another over. I agree. And I acknowledge that. I don't like it, but I can't sit there and hold it against them when I myself have fucked people over in the past. Yeah. So I got to give them the grace. Yep. And if it's another words of wisdom, give them the grace and understanding to know that they don't like genuinely want to fuck you over, but it's in their nature, and you just happen to be in their way. Ooh. And that's what I say about when it comes to you, and it's funny about you saying that, and then me not having the ability to kind of like pick it up, right? So every time Joe be like, he'll have something for me. Like, hey, yo, meet me here. Let's do this. Come out with me here. Anything, right? If I didn't call, if I like ghosted him or anything, I'm dead serious. I could say this now, because now we cool. So like, he would still, the next time you see me, most of the time, when you see that person another time, you expect like, oh shit, they're gonna see me. How they gonna take it? They're gonna be mean. They're gonna be an asshole. They're gonna be whatever, right? He would always still be this, even kill. And I was like, what's up, young? Always. What's up, young man? How are you doing? Right? It was always that, but it was always consistent. It was always open arms with love. It was never, he never had a look on his face. There was one particular time I thought you did. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, oh, he don't like me right now. And it never was that, ever. ever. And I try to model that right now. To this day, people that I've been around that they expect me to have that irritability, that look, that matter, and I don't. And when they don't get that back of what they expected me to be like, it almost like messes their whole matrix up. Like, wait, people are like that?
They don't know how to respond.
They don't know how to respond.
Yeah, so if you respond back with the same anger, same animosity, then it fuels it. But if you respond with something totally different, it deflates everything. So I go out of my way to make sure that I deflate any conflict whatsoever, only because it's going to be helpful for me, which is why I haven't gotten into any altercations, and I've been in some tricky situations, but I can diffuse the situation, but that's because it's better for me. So I do that with everybody. I'd say, hey, you know what, one day, I even told you, I said, one day you might fuck me over, and I'm okay with it. It's not like you woke up one day and said, today is the day where I'm going to fuck him over royally.
I mean, I'm trying to think of some ways.
I'm trying to leave some dirt in a fucking certain spot.
Do you think that just comes from like people? I mean, again, and this is taking it to a whole nother level. I'm saying, just like, you think it's just because people have this selfish nature that they're thinking about themselves more than the more than. So I've noticed this. Sometimes a person, I think, it's short-term thinking to me, because you're choosing this thing, you're being selfish over here, not realizing that if you just kept the same wave and the same vibration with one another, you're actually going to get a lot more on the back end personally. But they're only looking at what they see right in front of their face.
I think as nature, we're greedy. We're greedy. We want things. We want it right now, and it's just the way that we are as humans. Yeah. You know, like, we're here to survive, and then sometimes people are in our way in that survival, whether if it's survival mentally, emotionally, financially, like you're in my way to some extent, and then sometimes we just have a tendency of fucking people over. Yeah. I know we talk about integrity, but we don't necessarily live it as much as we would want to. Yeah. And I've seen people at their lowest of their low, where people have fucked me over that I've, put my life on the line for. So if I put my life on the line for you, there should be a level of respect, but there isn't. It's because they're doing the same thing with other people. So
how can they do that with just you if they're doing with other people too?
Yeah. I've just seen people fucking each other over for way too long. So I'm like, well, I guess this is what it is. And we're not good or bad. I think we're circumstantial. The circumstances meet. We're in a vulnerable position, and sometimes we're a little bit humble, and sometimes we're not. Yeah. And I'm okay with that, because that's just part of being human.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to say about this dude?
You want to say about him?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, when you could be unique. Like, this is a unique individual, right? Like, I bet you go anywhere and everywhere. You got tattoos, just the whole nine, piercing eyes, the whole nine, right? But then I noticed also with you, one thing that I always use to my advantage as well. There's so many things, but I mean, what you see just from somebody's exterior isn't what you're gonna get the same inside. And then being able to couple that with professionalism and being able to run your business, be calm. Like, man, it's something that I try to model myself around, especially when I coach younger generation. Because some people that are my age or even a bit older, they might have that nature, like that selfish thing too. You got to school them. So I'm like, man, I'm 35 schooling your ass, right? But in reality, it's just something that I want to take with me, because, like he was saying, we've all come across a lot of people in our lives, and there's some people just stand out more than others, and they have a consistent level of character. And he's one of those, and he's never shape-shifted on me, right? He's never changed up on me, and I always wanted to be that kind of person in my life to others as well. So I think more than anything, like you said, the integrity, the character, the way that he goes about being who he is, and diffusing situations, all those things have helped me become who I am today, and want to live a life of gratitude and be of service to other people without trying to offend anyone. You could be yourself without having to go about the business being obnoxious about it too. So I think it's all in all, I mean, it's just a blessing to know you, and to have the opportunity to have stories, to say I've shared moments with you. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Oh,
so. Yeah, man.
Cool.
Here.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man.